Hey, what up, guys? Your boy Vtec. And today we're gonna be talking about a car that's low key forgotten in the Mopar scene, and that is a Dodge Magnum. Yeah, it's not forgotten because everyone does like cool swaps in there, but we're gonna talk about like when it came out. Like we're gonna answer three questions, and the three questions are: why did Dodge ever decide to make like a station wagon kind of like Charger kind of build? The second reason: why did it end so quickly? The car only was around for like 3 years. It didn't have a long run, to be honest. And the third reason: is there a possibility that we can see the Dodge Magnum coming back anytime soon? We're gonna find out today. Alright, guys, so before we get to the Dodge Magnum, we gotta talk about the past. So, back in the early 2000s, the car market was changing a lot. A lot of companies were pushing the SUV in the crossover world, and to be honest, Dodge wasn't kind of feeling that. In the early 90s, most of Dodge cars were just front wheel drive or built for comfort. Nothing for performance, no kind of SUVs, none of that stuff. They had like kind of like minivans. That was like their things. They were like low key compact cars. That was the thing. So, it's not what we know as Dodge today. But the great thing, everything changed in 1998 when Dodge merged with Mercedes Benz. This changed everything for Dodge. This gave access to Dodge to Mercedes engineering standpoint. So we can low key take stuff from Mercedes and put in Dodge stuff to make them better low key. And from this standpoint, a higher up in Mercedes decided to bring back the heritage of Dodge and bring back what their true platform is, and that is American muscle performance. So they decided to create the LX platform. And this, as we know, this platform today is what helped create the first gen Charger on the LX platform, the second gen, and also the third gen that we consider today the LX platform. And that's the Charger that everyone loved. And also on that same platform, we had the Chrysler 300 and we had the Challenger. So from that platform, it made a lot of great cars. The cool thing about that platform, it gave the option to have a rear-wheel drive car or an all-wheel drive cars, because as we can see, we still do have them options on the first gen, second gen, and third gen Chargers. On the newer one, I don't know what platform. I think they're on a whole different new platforms. But yeah. But before Dodge decided to bring back the Charger, as we know, the Dodge Charger, they come back in like 2006 or like late 2005. They had like kind of like a test subject, and their test subject was the Dodge Magnum. We haven't heard the Magnum since like 78 when it was like a two-door kind of car. But they decided to bring back the Magnum in a four-door and as a wagon. This is something very different. It's not normal because usually the time when you think of a wagon, it's like an old kind of grandma kind of car. But not for Dodge. They weren't calling it a wagon. They were calling it a sports touring kind of car. No wagon for them. It was an American muscle car wagon, which is kind of weird. They had multiple different engine options you could have got. You could have got a 2.7 V6 that made like 190 horsepower. You could have got a 3.5 V6 that made 250 horsepower, or you can get the iconic RT motor that made 340, and that was a 5.7. Or later on, they did release the 6.1 SRT Hemi that made about 425 horsepower. Think about it. If you got yourself the RT or the SRT, you're making a lot of horsepower, not gonna lie. This is not your daily old school wagon kind of car with the wood panels on it now. It's an American car, American muscle car with a V8 rear wheel drive with a wagon in it. So if you have a family and you want to have fun on the streets, this is the car for you. And when the Dodge Magnum came out in 2005, it went crazy. It even won awards for like best wagon of the year and like I guess runner up for American muscle car of the year in a wagon. So this kind of brought a lot of light to Dodge because the success is coming for them, and that's what they wanted, because since we know they haven't brought any muscle cars for a long time. So seeing this great performance helped them out a lot, and it gave them the idea to release a car that we know today is a Dodge Charger the following year. But we know everything has to come to an end, and when Dodge decided to release the Dodge Charger, it kind of hurt them and benefited them a lot. It killed the Magnum. A lot of people saw the Charger and was like, well, the price is the same. I'd rather buy myself the iconic American muscle car, the name right there, the Dodge Charger, than buying myself a Dodge Magnum that's kind of wagon, even though it has the same kind of motor, same kind of interior kind of parts, but a Charger is a Charger and a Magnum's a Magnum, and we all know that today. As every year as the Dodge Charger kept getting more successful, the Magnum kept dropping in sales every single year. So what did Dodge decide to do? Well, you knew the end was coming soon, so they tried to prolong the ending of the Dodge Magnum. So they decided to give it a facelift, a better interior, and a whole better 9 yards for everything for the car. And it was too late. The car was already on its faith, and it was going to die out anytime soon. I guess you can say the real reason why the car kind of failed was people wanted SUVs over a wagon. People wanted crossover instead of a wagon. And I can't blame them because it's a pretty big car. And in an American standpoint, a lot of people don't buy wagon. If this car was just for lease over in Germany and stuff like that, it would have done so much great. And the car did release in Germany and overseas, and it lasted until 2010. That's when it discontinued the car. Kind of sad to see that car go, but other reason why it kind of failed was the Charger overshadowed it. Everyone saw the Charger coming out and they wanted more of it. So it's kind of hard to compete with a car that has a crazy history and a crazy fan base. People want to see that car come back. There is speculation that say people in the higher up in the SRT, one guy, I forget his name was, he did not like the Magnum. He wanted it gone. He didn't think it represents Dodge, I guess you can say. So I think they listened to him and they kind of shouted out. They said no more Magnum, I guess you can say. Another thing is people say the interior is kind of butt. It reminds them like a police kind of car. But at the end of the day, interior back in the day were all kind of cheap, and that was for every car brand. That was for Ford, Chevy. Everyone was doing the plastic thing, so you can't really blame just the interior on another failure of a car in the early 2000s. Well, by 2008, the Dodge Magnum was discontinued, only lasting about 4 years in production, which is kind of sad because I think this car had a lot to give, but it just died out. Alright guys, if Dodge did decide to bring back the Magnum, how would it do? Personally, I feel like a lot of people would like it and a lot of people would buy it because there's some people who are jealous that in the Europe standpoint, like in Germany, that they have like all these cool wagon kind of builds. Like they have Volvos over there, they have BMWs, they have even Volkswagens over there. There are wagons that we don't have today here. Like it's kind of sucky because those cars are kind of nice and we don't have them, so it's kind of whack. So I personally do think that the Dodge Magnum would do actually really good in America's standpoint. It might not have a big like community. That's why I don't think Dodge would ever really bring back the Magnum. But people are bringing back the Magnum today in a modern flip. Like we've seen so many people do Hellcat swaps and SRT swaps and even 5.7 swap with the modern like motor stuff like that. We see them put all the new interiors in it. We've seen people do like the newer 300 like front end swap. We've seen people put wide body kits on them. There's like 3 or 4 Magnums in the world that did the full like racetrack kind of thing from the Chargers. So we're kind of seeing like the modern flip on it. If Dodge did really bring them back, they will kind of look like this today. So that's a cool thing. Real Mopar fans are kind of bringing back the Magnum. So the Magnum love is still there, but is it enough love that the company will bring them back? I doubt, because look how everything is now. Everything's about EV crossovers. That's what people really want. So I don't think I don't think the big guys are ever gonna bring back the Magnum. But personally, there was never any bad thing about the Magnum. I think the Magnum was just placed in the wrong time, or it kind of opened the standpoint for the future, because without the Magnum doing so great successfully, I think the Charger would have still done great, but it kind of boosts like the success standpoint for Dodge when they try to do the LX platform, because that platform helped build everything else, the 300, the Charger, and the Challenger. So shout out to the Magnum, because the Magnum did a lot of great stuff, not gonna lie. So at the end of the day, the only thing that killed the Magnum was, I guess, its higher ups, to be honest, and like the community. People didn't really want to wagon that much. They rather get the Charger. It killed itself, to be honest. So guys, at the end of the day, was the Dodge Magnum bad? No, it was a great car. It was just, I feel like it was in the wrong time, or maybe in the wrong field. I think if the car was just placed in Europe, it would have been so much great, and maybe the car might have been around today. But the American standpoint, I don't know, it was just like a Charger, I guess you can say. It had the same power. It kind of had like the same kind of look, I guess you can say. But, well, only thing that discontinued and killed the Dodge Magnum was its higher ups, to be honest. And the success that the Charger did get in 2005, like 2006 kind of standpoint. It did so like I said, like almost over 100,000 units in its first year. So I think that's what killed it. So let me know down below if you guys would like a Dodge Magnum, because they are going to try pretty kind of cheap. I think you can get a Magnum for between like $1,500 to $3,000, which is not bad for a pretty huge car that got potential to do a Hellcat swap, Scat Pack swap, even put a modern day RT swap in it with a nice interior and all that stuff. So let me know, are you copping a Magnum, or you can get yourself just a Charger?